When Tara fell to the floor, nobody rushed to help her. The boutique floor was marble, cold, and slippery. For a few seconds, she didn't move. She just lay there, staring at her reflection in the mirror tiles. Her handbag had spilled open, her lip gloss rolling one way, her ATM card another. The red gown she had been trying on was tangled around her knees, and flashes from people's phones caught every second. "Big fatty mama has fallen," one of the salesgirls laughed. Another one added, "Damn, she looks like a bag of rice on the floor." Laughter filled the air, high-pitched mocking laughter, and standing by the counter, watching everything quietly, was her husband, Kelvin. Kelvin wore a white shirt, gold wristwatch, with clean beards. He was the man who once told her she was the most beautiful woman for him when no one else did. Now, when she needed him the most, he just looked away. "Mimi," Kelvin said to the slim salesgirl holding a phone. "Stop recording. It's embarrassing." "But sir," she said, grinning, "it's just a small joke." Madam fell all by herself. Madam, that word used to mean respect. But now, it sounded like mockery. Tara tried to stand up, her palm leaving sweat marks on the floor. Her dress strap had snapped. Her wig had shifted far behind her forehead. Everything in her wanted to disappear. Her voice was low as she said, "Kelvin, please help me." Kelvin didn't move. He just rubbed his jaw twice and said, "You are too dramatic, Tara. You always want attention. Please can you get up from there and stop embarrassing yourself?" The boutique became silent, and everyone watched as she straightened herself up. Her eyes snapped to him. "Embarrassing myself?" she repeated, her voice shaking. "I fell to the floor, Kelvin. In front of your employees. In front of you. You didn't bother to help me up, and all you can say is that I am embarrassing myself?" Mimi chuckled softly under her breath. "Madam, don't be angry. It's not that deep. We are just catching crews." "Crews?" Tara turned sharply. "You think this is funny?" Mimi stepped back, her smirk fading. Tara reached for her handbag, gathered whatever she could, and wiped her sweaty hands on her dress. She turned and picked up the red gown she had been trying on before she fell. "How much is it?" she asked. Mimi blinked and said, "That's 230,000 naira, ma." "I'll take it," Tara said, reaching for her ATM card inside her bag. Mimi raised an eyebrow. "But it's not your size, ma," she said. Tara met her gaze as she replied, "Neither is your audacity, but look at you flaunting it." Kelvin sighed again. "Tara, please, you're just overreacting." She looked at him, her eyes full of tears that refused to fall. "No, Kelvin, you are underreacting." She pulled out her card and placed it on the counter. Her hand was steady now as she said, "Charge it." "Ma," Mimi began, "I said charge it." Tara cut in sharply. The card machine beeped. The payment receipt was printed, and the dress was packaged in a shopping bag. Tara took it, and then she turned to Kelvin. "Don't worry," she said softly. "One day, you will tell people you used to know me." He frowned. Tara, but she was already walking out. The boutique door closed behind her, and silence settled over the room like dust after a storm. Mimi exhaled, shaking her head. "She is just took dramatic Shah." Kelvin didn't respond. He was still staring at the glass door, his reflection caught in it. Realizing too late that for the first time since their wedding, Tara hadn't looked back. Outside, the sun hit her face. The city noise swallowed her, but she kept walking. People turned to look at her, the plus-sized woman, walking out of a luxury boutique like she owned the street. She didn't care. She wasn't sure where she was going. But she knew she couldn't go back. Behind her, the boutique remained quiet, the laughter gone. Inside that silence, something new was born. And that was the beginning of Tara Benson's revenge. When Tara got home, she dropped her handbag on the glass table and stood there for a moment, staring at her own reflection. Then, she walked into the kitchen and poured herself a glass of water, but her hand shook so badly that the cup rattled against the counter. She set it down, pressed both hands against the sink, and stared out the window. The world outside looked normal, but inside, her world had collapsed, quietly, neatly, like a building designed to fall without making noise. The front door opened. Kelvin's footsteps echoed through the hallway, steady and unapologetic. His cologne entered before he did. That same expensive scent that once made her heart race. "Tara," he said, his tone flat. "You left the boutique without me." She turned slowly. Her makeup was smeared, her wig off, her pride scattered somewhere between the boutique and home. "You didn't seem to notice I was gone," she said. He sighed, loosening his wristwatch. "You embarrassed yourself, Tara." She blinked. "I embarrassed myself." He placed his watch on the table and looked at her like a teacher addressing a stubborn child. "You made a scene in public. Those are my staff, my clients. You think screaming in front of everyone helps?" Her voice trembled. "They laughed at me, Kelvin. They mocked me. Your wife. While you stood there doing nothing. I was trying not to escalate it," he snapped. "You know how you get when you're emotional." Her heart dropped. Emotional. That word again. The one people used when they wanted to silence a woman without raising their voice. She looked away. "Do you even love me anymore, Kelvin?" He rubbed his temple, exhaling slowly. "Tara, please. I've had a long day." She nodded. "So have I." He didn't answer. He just walked past her, heading for the bedroom. The sound of his footsteps fading down the hallway felt like a door closing inside her chest. She stood there for a long time. The only sound left was the hum of the fridge and the ache in her throat. That night, she slept facing the wall. He didn't touch her. The next morning, her phone buzzed nonstop. On Instagram, someone had posted the video, "Fat Madam falls down while trying on luxury gown." Hashtag Maison Luxe Drama, hashtag body goals. The video already had thousands of views and hundreds of comments. Her husband settled for less. He deserves better. Why are women like this? If you know you're big, dress accordingly. That salesgirl is a savage. She said nothing here ever fits. Tara scrolled until her vision blurred. She just read and read until she saw Kelvin's name tagged in the comments. Someone had written, "It's this madam's husband that is sponsoring the salesgirl Mimi, ABI? Nawao. I pity her Shah." Tara's hand went cold. She opened the boutique's Instagram page, the same one she had helped design when Kelvin started the business. And there it was, a new post. Mimi, in a fitted red dress, the same red gown Tara bought before walking out. The caption read, "The new arrivals, model at Mimi Fire." Her husband had liked the post. That was when she dropped the phone. The sound of it hitting the floor was small, but it echoed like thunder inside her chest. The days that followed blurred into each other. Kelvin stayed out late a lot, claiming he had business meetings. When he came home, he smelled a feminine perfume that wasn't hers. She stopped asking questions. In the mornings, she sat on the balcony with tea she never drank, scrolling through comments until her chest ached. She deleted her social media accounts after someone sent her a message that said, "Maybe if you lost weight, your husband won't flirt at work." By the third week, she stopped checking her phone altogether. She started listening to whispers instead. Whispers from neighbors. From the security men who paused their gossip when she walked by. From Kelvin's driver, who couldn't look her in the eye anymore. Everyone knew. Everyone always knows before the wife does. One evening, while she was folding laundry in silence, the doorbell rang. When she opened it, it was her friend, Laura. "Tara," Laura said softly, her eyes full of pity. "I saw the video. And I've been calling you, but you've been avoiding my calls." Tara forced a smile. "I know. I just needed some space." Laura stepped in, glancing around the quiet house. "Are you okay?" Tara sat on the couch as she said, "Define okay." Laura hesitated, then leaned forward. "Listen, Tara, you don't deserve this. The humiliation, the cheating rumors, none of it. You're a good woman. Kelvin doesn't. Don't defend him," Tara said, her voice sharp for the first time. "Please, don't." Laura nodded quickly. "Okay." Silence filled the room again. Then Lara's voice softened. "So what will you do about this whole situation?" Tara stared at the folded clothes beside her. "I don't know," she whispered. "I just know I can't keep being the woman everyone pities." That night, she walked into the bathroom and stood in front of the mirror for a long time. Her reflection looked tired. Bloated eyes, bare face, wrinkles she hadn't noticed before. She touched the mirror lightly. "You're still here," she whispered to herself. "I'm still here." 2 weeks later, Kelvin came home smelling of new female cologne. He dropped his car keys on the counter, humming. "You've been quiet lately," he said. Tara looked up from her laptop and replied, "I've been thinking." "About what?" he asked. "About leaving." Tara replied. Kelvin chuckled. "Leaving? To where?" She smiled faintly. "Somewhere I don't have to see your face every day after what you did." He frowned. "You're still talking about that?" Tara closed the laptop. "No. I'm talking about what happens next. She stood up and walked past him. He didn't stop her, because men like Kelvin never think a woman can really leave people like them. But that night, for the first time, Tara slept peacefully, because she had decided something. She didn't know exactly how she would do it yet, but she would rise, just to remind them that a woman's worth is not determined by her dress size. The first morning after she left, the city sounded different. Tara woke up in her mother's small house. It was painted cream with stubborn blue doors, and for the first time in years, nobody called her Madam Kelvin. Just Tara. The mattress was thin, the fan was noisy, but the peace she had felt expensive. Her mother served her hot pap and akara. Eat, my daughter, she said. You've been starving yourself. Tara nodded, forcing a smile. She wasn't starving for food. She was starving for purpose. After breakfast, she opened her laptop. The screen blinked at her like an old friend she had abandoned. She stared at the blank document until words began to appear. Numbers, ideas, sketches of dresses she had once wanted to design for women like her. Women who lived full lives in full bodies. At first, she called it Project TA. Every evening, she drew sketches. Every night, she watched online tutorials about fashion branding, body-positive design, and logistics. Every dawn, she went for jogging to clear her head. Her mother watched her from the veranda, smiling quietly. So this is what fire looks like, she said one morning. By the third month, Tara had found a tailor. Old Mama Rita, a retired seamstress who used to sew for elite ladies in the 90s. People like you never come back to us, Mama Rita said, adjusting her glasses. You go and marry men who build shops for smaller girls. Tara laughed, a soft, honest sound as she said, Then let's build something for ourselves this time. They started small, with 2 rolls of fabric, 1 rented sewing machine, and 1 borrowed desk fan. The first gown they made didn't fit right. The second one was better. By the 5th try, Tara wore it herself, stood before the mirror, and for the first time in years, she said, perfect. She began posting pictures on a new Instagram page named it Wear TA, no filters. Just real women. Teachers, nurses, mothers, smiling in colors that loved them back. At first, no one noticed the brand. Then few weeks later, one post went viral, with comments like, Finally, someone is designing for the thick girlies. Orders started to come in. At first, it was slow. Then, it increased rapidly. Tara hired 2 assistants, then 5. She registered the business and moved from her mother's house into a tiny studio space in Ikoyi. Nothing fancy, but she loved the freedom she got from running her own business. One afternoon, while reviewing sketches, a woman in a power suit walked into Tara's studio. I'm Chioma Adara, she said, from Vantage Investments. We fund growing fashion brands. I saw your interview online. My interview? Tara blinked. Chioma smiled. A lifestyle blog wrote about your page. The plus-size designer who is turning her shameful experience into style. I want to invest. Tara's hand shook as she poured the visitor a drink. Why me? She asked. Because you have a strong brand story, Chioma said simply. That evening, Tara cried. Within months, TA clothing became a name whispered in Lego circles and respected. Boutiques that once ignored her now called for collaborations. Influencers wore her gowns and tagged her without being paid. Magazines described her as the woman redefining luxury for real bodies. She didn't respond to any of them. She just worked harder. Then one morning, her phone rang. The Truecaller ID read Kelvin Benson. She stared at it for a long time before answering. Hello. Tara, his voice was hesitant. I saw something about your brand. Congratulations. Thank you. Tara replied. There was silence. Then, he asked, can we talk? Maybe dinner. She smiled faintly and said, dinner LOL, with your salesgirl. He sighed and said, you also know about that. I know everything now. Tara replied. Tara, it wasn't serious. Don't explain, she said softly. You don't owe me that anymore. He sighed. I just wanted to see you. Maybe someday, she said, and ended the call. For the first time, she didn't cry after hearing his voice. She felt nothing, just calm. That same week, an invitation arrived in her inbox. It was the Grand Brand Fashion Awards Gala, and Maison Luxe Fashion had been nominated in the same category with TA Clothing for the Brand of the Year. Her heart pulsed. Maison Luxe. The same boutique where she fell to the floor and no one helped her. Fate had a cruel sense of humor. She almost declined. But her mother said to her, "My child, when life invites you to the same table where you were once served pain, you go. But this time, make sure you eat." On the night of the gala, the ballroom shimmered, with crystal lights and champagne, women in glass heels. Cameras flashed as Tara stepped out of her car in a gown of her own design, emerald green silk that hugged her curves. Every head turned. Even the ones that pretended not to. Mimi was there, sitting beside Kelvin at the Maison Luxe table, wearing another tight red dress that screamed for attention. For a second, their eyes met. Mimi's smile faltered. Kelvin's glass stopped midair. Tara simply nodded and walked past them to the VIP section, the cameras following her like light itself. The announcer's voice filled the hall, and the award for the brand of the year goes to TA Clothing. Applause thundered. Kelvin's face fell. Mimi clapped slowly, her eyes wide, and her mouth dry. Tara rose from her seat, calm and collected. On the stage, under 1,000 lights, she took the microphone and said quietly, "For every woman who has been told she doesn't fit in, maybe the problem was the room, not you. Thank you so much for this award." The hall erupted. She smiled, bowed slightly, and left the stage. Back in her car, the driver asked, "Should I take you home, Ma?" She looked out the window, her trophy glittering on the seat beside her. "Yes, please," she said. 3 weeks after the awards gala, a lifestyle columnist published an op-ed titled, "When Luxury Hates Its Customers." She didn't mention Tara by name, but she embedded a clipped CCTV still, a plus-size woman stumbling while a slim salesgirl laughed. The comments section turned into a boycott. Maison Luxe's weekly takings fell like bad rain. Suppliers smelled trouble first. Emile Fabrics stopped picking Kevin's calls. A courier company refused to release imported zips until the payment arrears were cleared. 2 brides canceled their fittings, posting, "No brand that mocks women will dress me." Kelvin went home early that day and sat on the edge of his bed, his tie undone, staring at a patch of ceiling that used to mean safety. Mimi messaged him 3 times about a real idea for their new arrivals, but he didn't reply. The following week, a letter arrived from a mid-tier law firm that the landlord had sold the building housing Maison Luxe boutique to the new owner. The next day, at about noon, Tara stepped into the Maison Luxe boutique quietly. The roses smelled cheaper than she remembered. 2 attendants noticed first, stiffening into perfect posture. The manager blinked fast, registering the woman from the awards stage, the investor smile, the headlines, and the rumor. Mimi came out from the back, a clipboard in one hand and a phone in the other. Her grin was rehearsed. It faltered when she saw Tara. Kelvin followed, his tie loosened and his jaw tight. For a long beat, no one spoke. The air hummed with the old air conditioning and the new kind of weather Tara brought with her. "Tara," Kelvin said at last. "So it's true." "It's paperwork," she replied. "Paperwork tends to be true." Mimi tried to laugh, but she couldn't. "So, you'll be taking over the entire building? Everything?" Kelvin asked. "Yes, Kelvin. My brand has grown so big that we are in need of even more space than this." Mimi folded her arms. "So I'm supposed to what, apologize? For a simple joke?" Tara didn't flinch. She turned. "Not to me," she said, "but to every woman who walked in here and learned to hate herself more because of you." Mimi's mouth tightened. "I didn't make you fall." "True," Tara said evenly. "You just made the floor colder." Kelvin stepped forward, his palms open. "Tara, please can we talk alone?" She looked at him, the man who once stopped her storms with a joke, the man who watched her drown in shallow water. "Of course," Tara said. "I never meant to hurt you." "Tara," he began. "You didn't mean to do anything," she replied. And that was the problem. His eyes softened as he said, "I was stupid, okay." They stood in awkward silence for a while. Then he continued. "Are you here to punish me?" he asked, with a low voice. She shook her head. "I'm here to build something on top of what broke me. If you feel punished, that's between you and your reflection." As Tara walked away, Kelvin looked toward the door, to Tara, and said, "If I ask you for forgiveness, will you give it?" "I already forgave you a long time ago. I did it for myself, not for you. And now, I just don't care about you anymore." He nodded once, like a man finally receiving the bill. Tara turned and walked away.
Please like this video, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more exciting stories coming up.